Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media FA. That might have been a bit fast. I don't know. Today, today, uh, we are. I'm alone, and today I'll be. What today? I'm alone, and I'll be discussing the penultimate DCEU movie, but not really. Kind of, maybe. Not. It's not in the way that's the penultimate one, but like that's definite. But maybe it's not even part of DCEU. We don't know. But it counts as one apparently. Blue Beetle. So yeah, this is the second to last DCEU movie. I have no idea if there's an echo here. If there is, I'm so sorry. But yeah, the last one, the second to last one. So only one more episode to go after this, and I also have only one more episode to record for us to be caught up. I know that we have not been caught up with our uploads as of recently, but I am trying. I am very much trying to be caught up. But aside from that, there is nothing more to say about about it before getting into it. Just this is kind of the only good DCEU thing that they've produced since the Suicide Squad. No wait, since Peacemaker. Yeah, so it's been so. This is the only good thing that they've ever done, like that released in 2023. Because you guys know what I thought of Black Adam, and Black Adam wasn't 2023, but it was like it started the shit train. Then we had Shazam, then the Flash, and then there's this movie. So yeah, I think. So yeah, I think it's good. I'll get into why I think it's good and why I think it's the only thing, but it's only good. It's not great. It's not amazing. It's not even. But it's not bad. It's not okay. It is good. It is the definition of good. Like if you want to see like a good movie, like not A tier, not S tier, just a B tier movie. Kind of spoiling it there a little, but just a B tier movie. It's this one. It's this one. Also, I'm not. You're not gonna hear any keyboard clacking. I don't. My computer. I don't want to pull it out, and I don't have space for me to pull it out. So, yay. Anyways, so yeah, I watched this movie kind of late into its like theatrical run, and also this is, I think, the biggest bomb. No, not the biggest bomb, but definitely a bomb. Definitely the third bomb in the DCEU slate. I know we kind of mentioned that in every single DCEU episode that has come out recently, but yeah, I mean they're the only ones that have come out recently. But yeah, um, that this movie bombed, and it bombed kind of hard. It had a budget of 130, not 100, like 110, 120 around there, and it made 130 back. So around the same cost of Shazam, Fear of the Gods. So yeah, and again, this is part of like the superhero fatigue thing. I think it had a pretty good opening day, opening weekend. Like it was pretty good, but like interest kind of fell down after that. So there wasn't a lot of like big talk about this movie. There's some background I kind of want to get into for this movie. So this movie was supposed to be an HBO Max slash Max exclusive, like a original. Like the background movie was supposed to be like and like Peacemakers, they were gonna do movies. They were gonna do movies on Disney Plus. They weren't gonna just release them in theaters. They were going to do productions, full length movies, and release them on HBO Max as DCEU entries. They were going to do like short films like Marvel does. They were not probably not going to do that, but they were going to do shows, and they were going to do movies like streaming movies and the theatrical movies, which are going to be the big ones. In this movie, alongside the Batgirl movie, which I think were the only two that were actually planned, like at least they were said that they were going to be part of like that like streaming slate. They it got changed. So Batgirl got canceled. It was like sealed away, written for tax write-offs, which is kind of a shame because the Flash released instead of Batgirl. And even then, like Batgirl was like 98% complete. I feel like they could have just let the movie come out on streaming, and if they didn't do well, then cut their losses. But fucking Warner Bros. Went on a killing spree in like 2022. So they let the Flash live, and they let Shazam Fury the Gods win, but like live. But they didn't in this movie. Like they didn't let Batgirl live. I guess it would have been a bit too confusing, but I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking of that movie. There were some things I was like interested in, and the movie was like complete, and it's like a, and I'm pretty sure it's either completely destroyed, like or it's like sealed away somewhere, like in a, I don't know where, but it's like sealed away, kind of complete. Not really. So and yeah, that movie's lost media now, like officially lost media. I think I've talked about it before. I have a feeling I've talked about um I have a feeling I've talked about that. I don't know. I really don't know. I have a feeling I talked about like Batgirl being deleted, but that doesn't really make any sense. I don't think I've mentioned a lot about DC. I mean, I've done trailer episodes for DC Productions before, and um, there was one of our most viewed trailer episodes is a DC episode. It's like it's one for this movie, Blue Beetle. Um, so yeah, I don't know why. So yeah, I don't know why they did that for the movie. Like there were some weird things like Michael Keaton was supposed to be Batman. Was supposed to be Batman in the movie. It was supposed to be part of DCU. So I don't know what they were thinking. What they were thinking. I'm guessing that they were gonna do it. They're gonna do it after Flash, like an explanation of like what this Batman was. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Batgirl was supposed to be for streaming, and so was Blue Beetle. But then I'm guessing late into production for Blue Beetle. I don't know if it was late, but it was definitely a decision that impacted the movie a little. Was that I saw a big audio spike. I don't know what that was, but yeah, like this movie was made for streaming. Was like being made for streaming. It was written for one. It was not going to be theatrical, and it was changed to theatrical, and that impacted the movie a little bit. It was given more money. I think it was given more time to actually finish, and that's what we got the movie that we got. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but it definitely shows that it was made for streaming, and it shows the most in its CGI and action, which is my first point here. Yeah, the CGI and action isn't the best. I feel like this is definitely the weakest it's looked in DC. I mean, like throughout. The Flash had pretty no wait, the Flash had pretty bad CGI, but this is like streaming CGI, and that's what I'm kind of talking about. Like the film is made for, and what kind of was being made for streaming, so they had to kind of adjust to that change, and they didn't really adjust to that change, but they conceptualized it for streaming. The Flash is a bit more egregious because that was supposed to be DC's big movie of the year, and that bombed tremendously. I know that this movie is is kind of a bigger bomb because it made less money than the Flash did. But the Flash, like I mentioned in the Flash episode, just last DC episode, um, it had like it had a lot more promotion, it had a lot more money, and what I mentioned there is that like that Super Bowl ad could have cost upwards of $42 million for DC and for Warner Brothers, and out of the budget, like with like alongside the budget. So yeah, I mean, obviously it failed. Like it didn't make back shit. That movie did not make back any money. I'm pretty sure it lost. I think the projection was like I think the projection was that it lost like $100 million or something. So yeah, a lot of money was lost with that um with that movie. But the CGI does look like for a streaming movie. I think it looks like if it were a streaming movie, it looks very well. For Blue Beetle, but like theatrical, I feel like it looks a bit too fake. It looks fake. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look well rendered. It's not as bad as the Flash, and that's why that's what I was going for. That the Flash is more egregious because that was supposed to be the big movie of the year, and this one looked better when it was supposed to be for streaming. But yeah, I feel like CGI isn't good. The CGI just isn't as good as it I think could have been. That was probably because of the last minute decision to make it into a theatrical movie when it was not supposed to be one. And another thing I want to mention is as I said, action here. The action is, I think, the best that that this slate of DC movies has had to offer. I feel like there's a lot of cool things with the with the mechanics of the Blue Beetle suit, having to make other weapons, and I feel like they really it really works. I feel like the Blue Beetle suit, they really used it not to its full potential because obviously they couldn't have. This is the first movie, and he has to learn how to really use it. But I feel like they did use it in a very cool way, and I mean, I really enjoyed it. Like I really enjoyed like what this movie did and like the action here. I feel like the action is very good, and also all the other gadgets that the other Blue Beetle made. I feel like that is. I feel like that was very cool and something that like that made that that added to the full action. So yeah, I think the action is overall very good, and some of the best action we've seen in the last few years for DC. And I think that's just really good. I feel like it's just really well. I think. Give me a second. So yeah, I think that the action is just very good. I think it's the best part of the movie. I feel like with a higher budget, uh, this movie could have a higher budget. Maybe it would have better like a lot more explosive action. But I feel like what we got is still very creative, and it does feel kind of low budget, even though the movie isn't low budget at all. So yeah, I think the movie did well with like what it had and what circumstances it found itself in. But aside from that, I don't know. Like it's good. It's like okay CGI with great action. I feel like the action was kind of hampered by the sudden change. Again, sudden change. So yeah. Also, this might be a bit of a short review episode, maybe on par with like others. I don't have much to say about this movie. This movie is, I think, one of the shorter ones for DCEU. And I'm not saying this. I can't talk a lot about positivity because obviously I can. I can get stuff out of the way, where I feel like it's good. But I don't know. When I have something to complain about, I think it's more. But anyway, that's beside the point. But just I might not have much to say. This might not be like a 40-minute episode, 50-minute episode, which that's fine. But I don't think it'll be 20 either. I think it'll be pretty like a sizable one. I don't know. I'm talking about fucking size about the episodes, but yeah. Anyways, um, what else? Okay, so yeah, I think that's it for CGI in action. Um, Next up are the characters. Also, what the fuck? Well, why am I talking about the size? You guys know how long the episode is. You fucking clicked on it. It's not like I'm doing a live stream. Yeah. Anyways, characters. Let's talk about the characters now. I feel like the characters are what the plot hinges on in this movie. This movie has a lot to do about family, and when you have to do a lot about family, you get Fast and the Furious. No, but in like reality, when you have to do a lot about family, when a movie has to do a lot about with like family and family ties and all that, and that being one of the biggest points of the movie, it usually means that it usually means that the plot is sort of put on the sideline, and the plot mostly revolves around the relationship of the characters with their family members and all that, and that's what usually happens. So if I don't talk much about the plot later, it's just because most of it was here. Anyways, first up, Jaime / Blue Beetle. I feel like this is a very enjoyable version of Blue Beetle. I like the fact that I like the fact that like he's not like this. I don't know how he's in the comics. Again, I don't read comics. But I don't know how he is. But he's just kind of like this normal guy, and I feel like it's a very good juxtaposition to what we see in the villains, and like his care for his family and all that. And that's something that's very explored, and like who he is and how he's to stand up for his family. I feel like that's very good, and that's something that's like explored a lot in the movie. And his like, and like I like that. I really do like that, and it just kind of shows, like just is he's just like a good protagonist. He's not the best protagonist. Let's be real here. He doesn't have a lot of standout things. I just feel like what he has is good enough and is pretty sizable. Like it's not, you're not gonna get out of like, whoa, he was such a good character. But he's definitely the best character of the movie. He's like an enjoyable character, and I feel like his relationship with his family is explored. And what I like is that there's different levels. It's not he like what like relationship with his sister and like with like uncle and dad. Like that's all different. It's handled differently. I like that. Like it's like the same love, but like it's like but there's like different like there's different ways of expressing it. I do enjoy that a lot. And also the one with and the one with Kajida. I think the actual like scarab name is, and I feel like that one is also really good, and I feel like I feel like it's explored well. But like yeah, no, like he's just a good protagonist. He is what the movie needed, and how the movie needed him. He just there's not much to say about him. There really isn't. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say. There's not much to say about him aside from him being like a good character, and like there's definitely better ways to do it. But I feel like just like what the writing had for this movie just maybe didn't allow them, like, and they didn't really need him. But I feel like what we had for this character was good enough. It was good enough. We got what we wanted for this character, and that's really about it. Next up is Jenny Cord, and I feel like Jenny Cord is a character that I feel like is interesting and definitely just lead to a lot of stuff with the narrative. I feel like we could have done a little bit more with her kind of being a Cord. Like I know that's a big part of the movie, that she is like this uber rich person in the city, and and like she fits in, and she like learns to not she learns, but she fits in with the Reyes family, really um who aren't really uber rich like her. That just doesn't have like a lavish lifestyle like her. So I feel like it's good characterization. She's a good characterization. I enjoy it. But aside from that, like there's not much to say about her. She hates her aunt, which is you know cool. Like, like obviously, and she has good. And she has a kind of a cool connection to Hyman being Blue Beetle, with her dad being the original Blue Beetle, and that kind of being set up for like a sequel, or we'll get to like what they could do with that. But yeah, I don't know. Just Jenny is a pretty good character for what she is, and she stands on her own as a character, and that's good enough. Yeah, that's just good enough, I guess. So yeah. Moving on to Victoria Cord, the main villain of this movie, and I feel like she is also kind of what the movie just needed. She's just villainous for the sake of being villainous, and you don't need to understand her. She's just there. She's evil for the sake of being evil. She just overly evil things just for the sake of being evil, and that's usually a thing that like bothers people. But I feel like it worked with what the movie tried to do with it, not only her but Carapax, which I'll talk about later. Her just kind of being this like very evil person that just doesn't really see people as like like just sees them as like assets, or like how she sees Carapax being just like a test subject. I feel like that is something that is very important for this movie, and her being just overly evil. I feel like it again the movie needed that just to show not only her relationship with Jenny, but also her brother and like what the company stands for, and also like again contrasting Jaime and his family and how Carapax is handled. Um, yeah, just I feel like it's what the movie needed, but she's not like a very good character. You're not like, wow, she was such a good villain. No, she really isn't. She's a, a evil for the sake of being evil villain, and that's kind of just what the movie needed. So yeah, talking about like I mentioned Carapax. How about Carapax? I feel like he is another one, like the second most interesting character in the movie, but I feel like Carapax. I think what Carapax really needed was like a reason to think. Like, I think Carapax is interesting, but the thing is that we didn't have enough of this character. I feel like him getting a reason as to why he thinks family is like a weakness. Um, I feel like that is very important. That would be. I think that would have been very important. Just like him getting a reason as to why he thinks family is a weakness and all that. I feel like that is something that we needed to know from this movie. Just full on, why is he like this? Why does he think that? We did get a backstory, and I do appreciate that. I feel like we could have gotten that a bit earlier, but at least I appreciate that he has a backstory and isn't just like this really weird villain. It just kind of turns at the end, even though I think that us getting that information was a bit weird. I don't know. I feel like we definitely like needed a little bit more for this character to really work how it should have worked, but I feel like he's still interesting. He still does his job of him like realizing what Jaime was really what Jaime really means and all that. But I feel like us getting that piece of information from this character, I feel like would have elevated him more as a character, as a good character, maybe even becoming the best character of the movie, and him and it's like turn really making more sense than I did it in the actual movie. But yeah, I just think Carapax is again kind of like just a good character for this movie. Next up is the Reyes family. I feel like the Reyes family is very enjoyable. I was talking about it for Jaime. I feel like what I feel like for this movie is that they maybe like they all do their job well, and they mostly are there to support Jaime's character. But aside from that, I don't like. There's not much there. Sure, the relationship with the father is all weird. It's all weird, but not weird. But like it's the most that really matters in the movie, and it's like it's good. It's good. It's a good relationship what they have, and it really matters for Jaime's character. But that's all they are. They're supporting characters, and that's fine. I feel like that's fine, and also they're very enjoyable. They're very funny, and I like that. So yeah, like they are. They're crazy, and they do their job well. So I think that they're pretty good. So going on to the plot, I was talking about like I think Carapax's turn was a bit weird. Um, there really isn't that much of a plot in this movie. It mostly just kind of moves along stuff, like mostly with the characters and what happens there, and that's mostly what the movie is about. And I don't know, talking about the plot here is a bit weird because I just kind of talked about the plot. It's a lot it's a lot. There's a lot of character in this movie, so yeah. Um, I don't have much to say about it. To be genuinely honest with you, I'm sorry, but that's just how I generally feel. Like I don't have much to say about the plot of this movie in general. It's just an okay. Like it's an okay plot. Does its job well. Um, it's just kind of like I guess a little forgettable because you just kind of end up remembering like see like bits and pieces of it. instead of actually remembering what the movie is all about, like the actual like structure of the movie. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it just ends up being like okay, you know. That's really about it for the plot. I think I don't know. I don't have much to say about it. It's just there. It is just legitimately the definition of being there. So yeah. I feel like there was something I want to say about it. Just I guess I think the movie could have been a bit longer and it could have served it well. But aside from that, I don't think it had much. We had a lot to talk about. I don't know. It feels the plot feels small, but that's kind of just probably to its benefit, obviously. But obviously, it's also part of like the change of them having to do it from. Oh yeah, now I remember. Let me get this out. Them having to change it again from a streaming movie to a theatrical movie. It was they had a very small plot, and they could expand it a little bit more, and decided to they probably decided to expand it, and it kind of didn't matter. Like it stayed in as like a little corner. So yeah. Also, get some cool facts. I guess there are some set pieces from this movie that actually I've gone through because I live here. Like the airport is actually not an airport. It's a convention center here on this island. On the island I live on, and it's a bit weird seeing it as a airport because I know it's not an airport because I've been there a bajillion times. So seeing it as an airport, it's a bit weird, but I feel like it's cool to see that happen. Like see that stuff there. But yeah, no, like we have a fucking airport. We know we don't you don't need to state it, and you don't need to pretend. It's not the prettiest airport, but it's definitely an airport. So yeah, anyways, let's talk about the future of Blue Beetle. We know that Blue Beetle is getting a animated series, and I see some people say that it's a downgrade. It's not really a downgrade. I think they have a lot more to play with an animated series for Blue Beetle. So yeah, and also they have the whole Ted Court thing being alive, so they could definitely expand on that. And I feel like limiting Blue Beetle to streaming is like at least a better idea than doing a theatrical. Blue Beetle's definitely a character a lot of fans love and probably want to see him in live action. Again, same with the DCU, with the DCU now. But like there's just that. Like it's not gonna do well in the box office. I don't think a lot of people don't know who Blue Beetle is. So like having him here is a bit weird. But aside from that, yeah, I feel like they could do a lot of things with the character. Definitely. Also, like having Ted Cord and like we know there's a Booster Gold series coming out, so having him and like Ted Cord Blue Beetle, maybe that's where he was there all like he was with Blue Beetle with Booster Gold all along, and that's what it's explained, and maybe we see him in Booster Gold series. I don't know, it could be cool. I think we could be seeing a lot. Like they could play it really cool, and also we know that the James Gunn is likes to have different like he likes to introduce things in like animated series. He likes to jump mediums kind of a little bit or jump styles. I guess jump mediums. Like we know that Frank Grillo's Colonel Flag Senior is gonna be in Creature Commandos. He's gonna be in the Superman movie, like played by the same actor, and then he's gonna be in Peacemaker season 2. Like that is a lot of like that is, and he's played by the same actor in all of those. So I think it's cool that he's like there. He's at least ready to adapt characters differently and have them like jump medians and all that. So that's cool. That's actually kind of cool. So I feel like we could see Blue Beetle in live action again. We know that Solo Maridueña is coming back as Blue Beetle for the series. So yeah, I think we can get a lot more just in this series, and I feel like that's going to be maybe it's gonna really catapult the character. I feel just to have him a little bit more. I don't know, just have him a little bit. You can have it the liberty of using animation instead of using live action. I feel like they could have a lot more liberty, and a little bit more space to breathe. and also it's a longer runtime, so there's that. Anyways, that's all that we say. Blue Beetle is a B tier movie. Like I said at the start of the episode, it's B tier. It's not going to blow your socks off, but it's a very enjoyable. It's an enjoyable experience that I feel like I think people should check out if they want to. So yeah. What do you guys think about Blue Beetle? Leave comments below. All our socials are in the description. Or our currently available socials in the description. And yeah, no, that's about it. See ya.